for listening.
Anayaji, thank you so much. I'm just speechless. It was mesmerizing. It was absolutely divine. I mean, it was like you have come like Krishna to give us the wisdom. I mean, the transcendental wisdom of Gita. It was really beautiful. Thank you so much. So I would invite people if they have any questions or anything. Maybe Anayaji can spend some time with us for
No problem.
yeah.
I'll go. I have a quick question, Anayaji. Can you please share your thoughts on like how to reach the state of moksha? Is it more like the balance sheet of karma, when your good karma far exceeds the bad karma? Or is it about self-consciousness, the monks who meditate like Buddha? Or is it just the desires? Like if you kind of get rid of the desires, the binding desires, like you say, is that the path? Like, or is it a combination? How do you really get to that?
Okay, how to get moksha is a science. And there are definite ways to calm your mind down. That is what is called as anthakarana shuddhi. So there is a big science that need to be taught, and it is taught. That is why when we go to the gurus, that is why they teach you what is moksha, how to get it, is part of the Vedantic wisdom. So you'll have to find a guru, so he will tell you. Essentially, anthakarana shuddhi means purification of the mind has to happen. And moksha is about knowledge. Moksha comes because of knowledge. The knowledge that I am not this body and the mind, but indeed I am the consciousness. There is a superimposition going on. You're conscious and you're also conscious of the world and the body and the mind, and we think because of so many reasons we have this body and the mind. Okay, there is a big science. Pursue it. Worth it.
Thank you.
When you talked about the human goal, as I read, the Dayananda Saraswati and is it a purushartha that we are talking? Chaturvida purushartha?
I'm sure. Ask me again.
Human goal.
Human goal.
That is dharma, artha, kama, moksha.
Yeah. Oh, the 4 ashramas. Dharma, artha, karma, moksha is human ultimate goal. Of course, is moksha. And the artha and kama, we have got desires. Kama, artha is we have to go and make a living, to make a living so that I can live. So, and the kama, desires, and artha, the many thing, has to be done with dharma, dharmically. So as I was saying, you should, whatever you do it dharma without hurting others. Very simple. Don't hurt others when you are going after your own desires. So this is the only ultimate goal, moksha.
Yeah, I have a question. So, Anayaji, our ultimate goal is moksha, and we always we have to get rid of desires to get moksha, right? So, but thinking about getting moksha is also a desire. How do we explain that?
That's a very good question. It is something like if there is a desire. See, Sai Baba explained it this way. So you have got full of coins in your pocket. It's heavy. It's almost getting a hole there. Take out all the coins and get a note. So all of these desires, this particular desire will knock off all the other desires. And nothing wrong with the desires, I said. You can have thousands of desires, depends upon what kind of a desires, right? So, and this desire is very important desire because this will give you the ultimate thing. So nothing wrong having this particular desire. That's why, they say, oh, we'll have to get rid of all the desires. That's not true. That's a wrong statement. Get rid of the binding desire that can hurt you. All the binding desire are capable of hurting you. Only those things you get rid of. But you have this desire intact that I want moksha. Otherwise, nothing is going to happen.
Right. Thank you.
This is Narayanan. Thank you very much for a very nice talk. You took a very big topic and kind of exposed us to a lot of things. And I have lots of questions, but I mean, just for my own clarification. But one thing that I want to start with is you talked about sukha and dukkha, right? So instead of, you said keeping the dukkha away as one of the concepts. So instead of that, in a simplistic way, everybody is trying to pursue happiness, right? Is in pursuit and sustenance of happiness. And when it doesn't go towards that end, it becomes dukkha, right? So what if with this complex system of knowledge, what we are trying to, correct me if my understanding is wrong, what we are trying to achieve here is to teach individuals a coping mechanism with respect to what you achieve or what you don't achieve. And if I look at it as simply pursuing and sustaining happiness, and anything that doesn't happen, how do you cope? And in essence, is that what it is?
No. See, coping mechanism, you mean you are taking for granted that grief will come.
Yes.
These problems will come. Or you develop a mind, outside things disturb our mind, things outside. But there is a way of training our inner mind, inside mind, such that the outside thing will not affect us. That is the training you have to go through. How do you train yourself, the inside mind, so that the outside will not touch it? That is a much better approach.
But it is like personalized medicine, right? I mean, the theory may be universal, but when you approach millions of people, so their ability to follow those may be different. So it has to be a personalized approach so that each one can develop that coping mechanism through whatever training that we may have to kind of, understand the mix between sukha and dukkha.
Now, the point I'm trying to make is, so rather than accepting that the dukkha will come, so that you strengthen yourself so that you can sustain dukkha, that's what you are saying. My point is, train yourself so that the dukkha will not affect you at all. The question of sustaining will not come. And there are ways of training yourself. That is what we call detachment. So if you are completely conscious about all the laws of the nature connected with this particular problem, accept that the world is constantly changing, accept that tomorrow is completely unknown, and I will have to accept it as it comes tomorrow. Like this, there are ways of training yourself so that the dukkha itself will not touch you.
Okay.
That is a better approach.
Okay. Yeah. If nobody has, if somebody has a question, they can. Otherwise, I have one more.
Yeah, I have a question here. Thank you, Nanyaji, for such an informative session. Actually, you explained such complicated stuff in very simple ways. So I'm just curious that if I look at your life, I mean, you were an engineer and then you pursue knowledge from your guru for 25 years. So I'm just trying to understand, how happy are you from the path that you followed? And do you think, are you in a, do you feel that you are there where dukkhas don't affect you, you don't have any desires, and you're close to moksha? how do you want to explain this thing? I mean,
Yeah,
what
it
is the scope?
happens. When
I'm
you are
sorry.
after moksha,
Right.
it helps a great deal if you get rid of all your desires. You neutralize the desires, or for example, if you want to go Char Dham, it's a very big desire, let us say. Well,
Right.
go to Char Dham and be done with it. That's one way of tackling the problem. Or another way of neutralizing the problem is God is everywhere. Okay, I will find my Lord in my own house. Okay, I don't have to go pilgrimage. That's
Right.
another way of neutralizing the desires. So, like this, we'll have to try getting rid of these desires, and it is quite possible to do that. And accept the things as they come. The acceptance is a very big thing. So, constantly practice this acceptance. When the tomorrow comes, accept, 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 and work. I mean, if the work is necessary, what doing whatever, then you will have to work. The work, you don't get rid of the doing part. It is accepting is very important, not rejecting and then going after it anyway. Not like that. Accept and work, accept and work.
I have one question, sir. My question to you is: you said desires. It's okay to have some desires. It's important also. You said, right. Like, for example, desiring for you to work towards moksha, desire to attain moksha is equally important. But isn't it a little bit contradicting? Like when you say no desires will it not lead you to moksha?
I didn't say don't desire. I repeat again. Don't
No,
have.
that's what I'm saying. No, but yeah, go ahead.
Don't have binding desire.
Yeah.
The desires that can hurt you.
Yep.
Have thousands of desires. Go after them. Detachment. Be detached and go after them. If it doesn't come, fine, let it go.
Yep.
You should have that kind of a frame of mind. So I didn't say don't have desires. You have as many desires as you want, but just be sure not to be affected by them. And there is a way of doing it.
So you're saying that it's okay to have desires but not be attached to the desire. Is that right?
Don't have a binding, don't make it a binding desire. I have got to have this is a big problem. For example, I have got to go and visit Australia. That's my, all your, these kind of a desires should be empty. I would like to go to, Australia and see it if possible. Keep it that way. Small, simple desires. If you won't go, that's fine. I won't go. What's the big deal? So everything should be at that level.
I have only one binding desire for moksha.
Yeah, good. That is not a binding desire. That gets rid of all your grief.
It's unbinding.
Narayananji, you had a question that you had left over from earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you talked about in the beginning, Brahman, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, right? And Vishnu comes in multiple avatars, and Shiva doesn't have, that many avatars. But my question is, I'm kind of thinking like this. High school student here. What is the rationale for gods seeking help from each other, right? Rama worships Shiva, Krishna worships Shiva, Ravana worships Shiva. So Shiva goes to Brahma. So is it kind of from the institute standpoint, counseling, seek help when you can't solve it by yourself kind of theory?
No, okay. See, be careful with these Puranas. All these gods are Puranic gods. Okay?
Sure.
There are a lot of stories, this and that. Ultimately, there is only one God, Brahman. Somebody wrote these stories of, whatever, Ravana did this, and so I don't have any problem with that. So keep them as stories. We don't know what exactly happened. Is there Narayana? Is there Shiva? I don't know. There is only Brahman, If you want to call him Shiva, fine. If you want to call him Narayana, equally fine, or any other name is fine. This is the approach of Vedanta.
No, there is absolutely, I agree with you. But when you're introducing the religion, you go from bottoms up when you're talking to the students, right? For us, it may be different. For students, it is bottoms up. So the Purana makes it interesting. Then from Purana, you go to the next higher level and next higher level, right? On the one side, we say we have lots of gods based on our own imagination. Fantastic. But the gods have stories, right? One god comes in multiple avatars, possibly to explain and educate the society with a changing situation through the evolution, possibly. I do not know. I'm not that well, learned or something. But the point is, there is an interdependency that is it is intertwined. It is not kind of, when we say only one God, then, we are also, a lot of other, faiths also talk about one God. Only thing is the concept may be different, right? So how do we balance this when we are talking to your young children?
The best way to handle this is whatever the God you pray, whatever the God is, your Ishta Devata, he is Brahman. That God is Brahman. Put it this way and end to all the other discussions. This is the only way to handle this. There is only one God. There are no other gods. If you are worshipping Ganesha, then Ganesha is the creator. Ganesha is the sustainer. Ganesha is the destroyer. Keep it that way.
Yeah. Okay.
There is only nothing but Brahman.
It's essentially, we are accepting the universality of God irrespective of the faith.
That also, perhaps, don't worry about other faiths.
No, it's okay. We are coexisting with everybody. So I'm proud of myself. At the same time, I'm also trying to understand other faiths, right? So that is how we are trying to create the symbiotic relationships. I agree with you.
Let's look at human beings, people from the south and people from the north, okay? East and west, different colors, different heights, different this thing. I'm a physician, so if you come to me from Madras or you come to me from Delhi, if you have a pneumonia, I will treat you the same way. So I think the similar thing will apply to these various avatars, Shiva, Ganesha, and everything. So you can say that the family tradition was such that they took one path, but all goals reached Rome, as they say. All roads reach Rome. Sorry, Anaya, to interpret. I just want to tell you I'm Anaya's student. Okay, just
Nayaji, I have one more quick question. Can you talk a little bit on how to differentiate between a binding desire and a non-binding desire, right? Because I'm still young, I'm supporting my family, I work, I want to do good at work. I don't want to maybe, make millions, but I want to be good at what I do. And is that a not good desire? I'm not able to differentiate between how do I keep my desires to the right ones.
Okay, that's a very good desire to have, to do, good job at work. And then whatever the money we make at work, and we should be giving back them good service. And giving a good and the best service you can keeps you happier more than anything else. So binding desires is something, let us say, something you do not have. Okay. So let us say, you want a big TV or something which you cannot afford. Now you start working towards getting more money or what have you to get the big TV. So the binding desire is, I have got to have that big TV, is a binding desire. And non-binding desire is, I am going to work for it. If I get it, fine. If I don't get it, it's equally okay. The binding desires are nasty desires because they can get into trouble, very bad trouble. If you don't get the TV, then your mind will start saying you are worthless in this world. You didn't get anything. see, you get into psychological problems. So keep it. If I get it, fine. If I don't get it, equally fine. Level. So if you get it, be happy. If you don't get it, don't bother.
That makes sense. Thank you very much.